Hello and welcome to Footy Talk for your Thursday. Footy Talk is your place for the latest news, interviews and analysis from the world of AFL. And as always on a Thursday, well, most of the time, I look across the table and I see the wonderful Heath Shaw. Heath, welcome.
Thank you, Dale. Good to see you again.
Great to see you.
Hat.
I like your hair.
No, you don't. I need a haircut.
No, I do. It's
No,
very much throwing the vibes of either I just got out of bed, I haven't been to bed, or I'm currently searching for a house that has a bed.
Yeah, well, it's true. I was like planning on getting a haircut yesterday because I was coming on radio. You know, like you need to have
And
good
as
hair
they
for
say,
radio.
yeah, you've got to have good hair for radio.
Yeah, but I didn't. I was a bit busy doing not much. But, yeah, I'll get one today, I think.
Okay, well, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to get one today. And I do love the fact we are in uniform, black jeans, black top for you, black shirt,
Mate,
T-shirt
we're
for
in
me.
Melbourne and it's winter. We're missing a black puffer jacket vest.
Yep.
That's all we need.
And that's as succinct as we need to be. As we look to our left, though, and very rarely do we get to be graced by royalty and greatness, but today we have a man who is a two-time premiership superstar and one of the all-round good guys of the AFL, Mr. Jayden Shaw. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me
And
on.
you know the best thing is he's a halfback flanker.
Yeah.
Like we usually get the forwards and all the other big rock stars and all that, and these young up and coming kids.
No,
Not that
we
he's not
don't.
Old.
How
But
old are you?
I like to see a halfback flanker.
No, I'm getting old now, boy. 28. So,
28. That is old.
Mate, I moved to GWS at 28 and then played another 7 years. So if you want to extend your career, you just got to move clubs.
there's hope. Yeah. I've been thinking, I'm getting old. Excuse my language, but
No, you don't have to
I'm
excuse it. We
I'm
can
getting
beat
old
that out.
now, 28, and these kids are getting younger.
Yeah.
You would be one of the older statesmen at your football club at 28, would you not? Now that Riewoldt's
Yeah.
nicked off.
I'll be up there. I'll be in the top 8 or 6 at the moment.
Yeah.
Still got Lynchy and Dustin and
Okay.
Dion. Still a couple. Grimes, he's holding
He's
up.
old, yeah.
He
He's
is,
holding on for dear life.
Tigger's
No,
a
in
little
terms
bit
of
older
like
than I am,
age.
but
Yeah, there's.
I am getting there.
But in saying that, though, you don't have too many well north of 30. What's Dusty? He's 30.
31 maybe.
Yeah, so
32?
that's, as you
Yeah.
said, you got to 35. I got to 31.
But the good thing is when you're getting to that age and then young guys come in, they give you like a new lease of life.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I went up to the Giants, all these kids were 18, 19, 20. I went up there, I was 28. Felt like I was an 18-year-old again for a couple of years. That's probably what we didn't win many games, but these things happen. That's all you need to do.
Has there ever been a stage in your life where you haven't felt like an 18-year-old?
Not off the field, no.
Well, I've
Not
been
often.
trying to hang on to the young kids as well because I'm feeling the same. You know, they'll keep you young and
Yeah, start
Nice
hanging
to-
around with them, start going to 21st and all that sort of thing. That's what I did. I think it just keeps young. And I played my
21st
best footy,
birthdays.
so you'll be sweet, mate.
yeah,
You got,
true.
mate, look up, not down.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, looking up is the Tigs. Pretty good week last week. Not the result, obviously, but bloody competitive after a fortnight that was pretty rough. You
Yeah.
must have been happy with the result in terms of running so close. Injury again cost you, but a better week.
Yeah, it was a better week. Look, we had a few rough weeks that we weren't very proud of, and obviously we had to train a few things and work on a few things, a few hard truths and stuff. But it was definitely a better result on the weekend. We were in the fight for a bit longer and sort of took it up to Essendon, but yeah, they're obviously second on the ladder and they're going pretty well. So we're definitely a lot happier, but geez, winning games is a lot funner. So the boys are certainly training hard and trying to win. But no, there was a few things I like on the weekend and seen a few different things from a few boys, and it's been all right.
How much different is your mindset now? And I sort of thinking on the run here from my time at Collingwood, then going across to Carlton, where there was a lot of success, which you had in your early stages at the Tigs, and then now having to grapple with the idea of how hard you have to work just to be competitive. Because people don't understand that. I don't think they go, oh, you're not
question,
trying
Dale.
hard, yada yada.
Yeah.
Good
I
question.
mean, yeah,
Thank you.
things do change. Like, I mean, even like time spent at the club, the amount of vision and stuff you do, and the amount of training and stuff you do. You know, when you're having those winning periods, you start to take not liberties, but
You get
you
given.
get given a bit a few things. You get given time off more, and probably not as much vision. Training's a little bit less, and I suppose there's a little bit of luck with how you're winning and going. But yeah, obviously we've stripped things back a bit. A lot more vision, which we're after. A lot what us boys are chasing.
Yep.
The training standards they need to be risen, and they have. And this time spent at the club together and just trying to grow together, certainly grown as well. But yeah, I mean, we're still going every week confident that we're going to win, but just haven't had the results we want. But still definitely got belief, and the boys are certainly trying their asses off. But
Yeah.
just sort of trying to get a win and hang in there. Yeah.
It is hard because there's been in the last sort of not even 12 months, you've had heaps of change. Like guys who've been there for years and years retired, Cochin, Riewoldt, new coach. You've got a truckload of injuries as well. So like all these
and that's
things.
a big truck too. That's not your normal size tipper. That's your road train.
Yeah, it's going for, and that's like that all contributes to the fact that you've had some down weeks and all that. And how does Adam Uze like sort of get the group together? It's sort of hard because you can't like belch over the head because there's all these sort of circumstances surrounding it. How does he come into each sort of week, and how is he around the place?
No, he's been pretty positive, to be honest, and I could understand if he wasn't, because we aren't going that well. But I suppose just celebrating the guys that are playing. Obviously, we have got a few injuries, but we sort of can't keep dwelling on who's out and stuff. So we've had a few young guys come in, and he certainly celebrated them. We've seen a few things from some guys who we might not have seen play if the senior guys were there. So, just his positive reinforcement around guys playing their role, and guys getting opportunities. I suppose that's probably been the biggest thing. Hasn't been too negative, to be honest, which you think it could be in these times. But I mean, like, this is as hard as I've seen us train, the most vision I've seen us do, and the guys are trying to learn, and we're trying to get better. So that's been probably something I've enjoyed seeing, the work the guys are putting in, and hopefully it can come out in our game days soon, and we start to get a couple of wins.
This is why we were sort of touching on that question before, because I think the general public think, oh well, they're not trying. They're clearly not putting enough effort in. When you're going bad, you are doing so much more than the sides 100%. Who are flying up the top. You're at the club more, as you say. You're trying to figure out what's going wrong. You're having meetings. You're watching vision. Your time on track is a lot more. Your skills have to be at a higher standard. So you do so much more at a level that's almost higher than when you were good. And then you go out on the weekend, and unfortunately, it never gets there. So just if you are at home and you're watching along, just understand that the Tiggy boys are flying. Yeah. Opportunity has presented for one bloke, though, which I am loving what he's doing. McAlty Lafau, is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a tough name to say.
Done. You've done well there.
Yeah, good question, good pronunciation.
Thank you.
Done. You're doing really
rugby background, but he looks as ready-made as a footballer and in sort of a quasi full forward role. He leads out well. He's tough. He's strong. Has he folded you in half at training?
No,
Tell us a bit about the bloke.
I avoid him. I'll go on the other team. I'll play with him at training. But no, he's going well. Like, I love playing with him. The way he tackles a footy. And this is his story even. Like, he was at the Melbourne Storm as a 16, 17-year-old kid, and then got into footy. Started the Casey Demons and played in their grand final down there, and come over to Richmond, done an ACL, and then he's hasn't missed a beat. I mean, like, he's playing 6 games as our number one key forward.
Yeah. I was going to say he's a sharpshooter, and
and he kicks it well, but
kicks it very well.
Doesn't miss much, does he?
And when he gets it, like you talk about Dusty and Harley Reid being tough to tackle, he doesn't even put the arm out. He just runs
straight through, isn't it?
Tackle me if you can. Yeah.
You've got the experience in the background there. But who from the Tigers on the back, because no AFL players gone to rugby. A lot of rugby players have come over. Who from the Tigers you reckon would make it at like NRL or rugby? Apart from him, obviously.
That was the easiest pick.
McAlty, he'd have a go, but I reckon Dustin. Like, I was speaking to Dustin the other day, and he's just thick. Like, he's probably built like a rugby player. Like, I'm nowhere near built like a rugby player, but someone like Dustin who could just sort of run,
solid hips,
break through blokes, and he's got a strong core. I don't know.
It'd be good to see an AFL player have a
few
crack.
offloads.
Yeah, 100%.
You definitely have to do a couple of pre-seasons to get used to it. But
imagine being on the wing when they kick the high balls in, the bloke stands under, you just take hangers. Or
that's one part of it. Yeah. But the getting tackled 50 times would probably hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So having 3 or 4 tackles a game and trying to get up is hard enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Having like 50. I think Shawry reckons he had 10 on the weekend.
I did 3 or 4 tackles in the game.
10 tackles on the weekend.
You did?
Yeah, effective. All effective.
Where any holding the balls?
Yeah. Couple, mate. I was
just a Tassie.
Put the head down.
I tell you what, the people who come along and listen to Footy Talk want to hear about how well you went playing for cash down in Launceston.
Yeah, well, mate, it was 10 tackles. This was a rarity. I didn't have that in a year.
Well, good one.
Would have been wet down in Tassie. That's why you're tackling.
Yeah, it was just a bit cold.
As Mick Mulder said, second of the ball, son. Any chance? What about tackling? The rules, everything that's going on in the AFL at the minute. We scratch our head, no doubt, as players. You scratch your head. The umpires, like, it just seems like we're all disjointed and no one's really on the same page. Do you have any more clarity this week than others?
Oh, no real more clarity. I mean, I don't really know what the rules are, to be honest, like around it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's actually changed, but there seems to be a lot of talk about it. The sling tackles, I mean, the amount of time you can hang on to a tackle without getting a whistle blown probably has changed. But it's certainly something you've got to think about nowadays when you're tackling. Like,
Have you?
It's the perfect answer, but because if a player that's actually playing doesn't really know, then
what hope have we
then
got?
there's so much confusion. And they would have practiced this over the preseason. You always practice your tackling and all
Yeah.
that, but then we're still, what are we, halfway through the year and still no one knows what's actually going on. It's like, just do what I did and don't tackle.
Yeah, and that's
well, I'm pretty
probably-
similar, Shawry. Yeah, that's
well,
why I
that's a
haven't had much
safe
problem.
answer.
Yeah.
And if you do tackle, you put yourself at risk of missing. So, but it feels like the rule has changed from, right, you used to be able to grab a pin and arm and get him to the ground,
Yeah.
and now you've got to be more careful. So blokes are standing up. So then you start to 360 sling them. The umpire doesn't pay a free kick, so then it continues on the merry-go-round. I don't know what the answer is. I don't really know if this is a question, but it seems like everyone is confused as one another.
And probably a little bit of frustration as well, like because you don't want to take them to the ground because you're worried about getting a week. Or
And you know that you could
Yeah.
too. That's the other
That's
thing.
And
definitely
in
a
the game,
possibility.
if you do tackle someone and you don't get a free kick, then you crack the shits.
Yeah.
And then you want to yell at the umpire and then you give away another free kick.
Dissent.
Yeah.
And then
So
you don't
there's-
tackle an arm and they get a handball and you spew on yourself for
It's
that.
a domino
So-
effect.
But I mean, it's probably hard for the umpires as well. Like, geez, if we don't know, I don't know if they know.
It's the AFL's fault.
But yeah, it's
AFL's
interesting.
fault.
You're happy just to label everything the AFL's fault.
Yeah, well, I've done it all year, so I might as well continue on. the
all
trend.
year or career.
Yeah, career. No, I probably didn't do it while I was playing because I get fined. But talking about Dusty, and obviously everyone's speaking about coming up to his 300th game. Like, so everyone's talking about like his form's dropped off a little bit and all that sort of stuff. But I say to everyone all the time, well, obviously it looks like his form's dropped off because the team's form's dropped off. So
Yeah.
it's hard to be like the best player in a team that's struggling a little bit. But how is he going? He's a quiet fella, especially like in the media terms. But how is he? Is he excited about 300? Because 300 games for one club is pretty special.
Yeah. No, he's going well, and I've seen Daisy's reaction in the
Did you like that?
in the commentary box the other day. It was good, but
Mate, how annoying are people?
yeah,
Such a good guy.
Nah,
He's a
he's
champion.
unbelievable, and that's like I was saying before, like the work we're putting in, like he's doing the exact same, like, and he's going into his 300th game. You know, that's easy to say that he doesn't need to put it in, but he's still there with us, doing it every day, and I mean, I think he'd be excited deep down, but I just don't think he loves the attention. Yeah, I mean, playing 300 games is just like, I don't even know how you do that. Like, it's just so many. You
I
know?
imagine playing
But,
325. That'd be a pretty good effort.
Don't, don't go down this route. You and I will just talk about being battlers over this side of the fence.
Will he allow you boys to cheer him off, do you think?
I reckon he will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he might have got cheered off for his. Did you get cheered off for your 200th, 250th maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you do.
I think
for
he
all
might
of
have.
them.
Yeah.
I did for
Um,
those.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I think he will. But like I think it's obviously a great achievement. I think he'd be wrapped. I think there'd be a few boys, past players that come and celebrate it with him. But just the overall attention, I suppose he's probably not going to enjoy. But he just likes doing his own thing, and he'd probably rather just be out having a coffee or something, I suppose. But playing golf, he's loving his golf at the moment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that he might have also signed up at an exclusive country club down the Mornington Peninsula that you were meant to sign up to.
Oh, yeah.
Rosebud Country Club. So Tommy Lynch, mate of mine, said, hey, seen how good that place looks. Me and the boys are keen. I said, oh, yeah, how many's the boys? And a list of 10 came through with the applications ready to go. So away
Dusty
we
hit a
went.
long ball.
Well, it's amazing how blokes, because I assume he hasn't played golf for a long time, but how addictive it is. And when you've got a personality like Dustin's who wants to be the best at everything,
Yeah.
I could see how golf
I think that's just what it is. He just wants to be the best and spew on himself when he has a shit shot.
Yeah.
So he's just continuously going out there trying to get better. But yeah, I think he's signed up at a few spots.
Nice.
Yeah, he's loving it, so it's good. It's good. He's got something else, and the boys are loving golf at the moment. Lynchy got us on the Rosebud
Yep.
after yourself. You're on the board, aren't you?
Oh, I'm not on the
Bit of
board
a high roller
officially,
down
but
there,
just
so-
sort of wheeling and dealing. You know the drill, Heath.
He won't be
Not
far
on
off
the
the board,
board.
but Lynchy got us on. But I think Lynchy, he probably needs the most work when it comes to golf. He's got these stiff fingers that he can't actually hold the clubs.
I played with him the other day. His middle finger is fused like that.
Yeah.
So when he holds the club, I'm like, are you flipping me off, bro? This is the most aggressive first tee tactic I have ever seen, just getting the middle finger.
Footy
Yeah.
injuries hampering your golfing. It's
We don't love that. What else do we need to talk about with you and the Tigs? We've covered off most of the thing. The Dusty criticism, I guess that sort of speaks for itself, and you probably can't. People go, "Oh, why doesn't he do much media?" You sit there and go, "Well, you jump on his back and then you jump off it just as quick."
Yeah.
For the rest of for the rest of the year, obviously. Injuries, everyone coming back. Hopefully, you get some guys coming back. And then, who's the most exciting young guys in your team? Like, obviously, everyone's got to go because you've only got 23 people to pick from. So everyone's had a crack at it. Who's the most exciting younger guys coming through that have actually had that chance and they've actually taken it, like you said?
I reckon guys like Thompson Dow, like he started well in the preseason, and he probably would have been playing even without these injuries, to be honest. We've got young guys like Seth Campbell, little half forward. Like, I reckon half forward role's the hardest position on the ground.
Yep,
by
far.
You got some bloke just chasing you all day, and you got to try to kick goals and put tackle pressure on. Yeah, so blokes like Seth Campbell, McKelty, like he's I think he might only be 25, McKelty. So he's got a lot of footy in him. Tom Brown in the back line.
Tom Brown.
He
becoming a good player.
Yeah, he is.
Reads the play well, uses the ball well, and he just plays well every week. So yeah, guys like that, I've been really impressed with.
Do you think Ooze will continue with these guys, say the second half of the year, even if we have a couple of injuries and the guys take an extra week or two to get them back and get them right and all that? Do you think that Ooze will play the youth over a couple of the older guys towards the second half of the year just because you probably won't make finals this year? Looking for the future.
I can't see why he wouldn't. Like if they're playing good footy and they're holding their spot, they definitely deserve a spot in the team. So. I mean, I don't really go into match committee and shit, but...
Well, you should.
No, I'll stay out of there. But, I reckon these guys they're certainly...
And shit.
They certainly earn their spot in the team, and like, they've been playing good footy, so if they're there, I'll be enjoying it.
Very exciting stuff for the back half of the season for the Tigs. The longest injury list in the competition. Hey, Shawry, stick around because we are going to have a little preview, turn into preview mode for tomorrow night's big clash between Port Adelaide and the Blues, plus a few more things, talking points from throughout the week. This is the Footy Talk podcast. Welcome back to Footy Talk for your Thursday. Heath Shaw sticking around, same as our special guest, Jayden Short. Before we get to full game mode for tomorrow night as Carlton take on Port Adelaide, there were some comments made on this very podcast by one man in particular, Nick Riewoldt, that sort of felt like it might have been a little swipe at you and I. Have a listen to this.
I love it. I think that would be a fantastic acquisition. I've worked with Bucks. I've gotten to know him really, really well. He's a great person. I think he's sort of like the evolution of him from player to coach to media commentator and person more broadly has been amazing to see. I mean, he's an Elliot Yeo amazing kick a goal away from being a premiership coach, so he can coach.
Yep.
And I think Bucks at times the reason he gets a bit of a bad rap as a coach is because of a certain segment of Collingwood players that like to hang it on him from time to time, which that's what guys are going to do.
Yep.
The Rat Pack, they like to hang it on Bucks, but. No, I think it'll be a great acquisition. Football person, big personality. He's very well balanced, I think, as a person. So I think it'll be a great acquisition if that's on the money. So real talk for me, Joey.
Now, Heath, I know that sort of got your goat a bit.
Well, I only got because people were sending it to me. Like,
yes.
I don't listen to that podcast.
That is this podcast.
Yeah, but I don't listen to myself. I just do it.
Yeah, okay.
And then so people were sending that to me.
A wonderful endorsement for the product. But anyway, we can move past that.
I'll get my Footy Talk out for 20 minutes and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you make of the comments? Because as soon as that was up, our WhatsApp group...
a few people
So which bit in particular pissed you off?
Oh, well, the bit where it said a certain segment of Collingwood players like to hang it on him a bit, the Rat Pack.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there any falsity in his statement?
No, but that's got nothing to do with the reason why he gets a bad rap as a coach, because his record wasn't that good like for most of the time. Yes, made a grand final. Yes, they were a kick away. But they did progress after I left, of course,
and me.
Slowly downhill for 5 years straight. Took a team from a grand final that way. So, like, we're talking about stats, and AFL loves stats at the moment. That's not an ideal stat.
Do you think it's misunderstood, the relationship between the Rat Pack and Bucks? Because I go as far as saying that I think the general public believes that it is just they don't like him because he's not Mick Malthouse, rather than my reason for being slightly aggrieved as to, not only having to leave the club, but also because we thought there was an opportunity to win or have the opportunity to be in the contention for 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Like the Tigers.
We were sort of thinking dynasty.
Who didn't change their coach.
And a lot of things have to go
one.
right. Yes, we all know that. But we thought we were in a window. So a lot of the frustration and since talk about it is on the back of that rather than just making it a personal agenda. Do you agree with those comments?
Yeah, but obviously it was personal as well because he traded me. Like the whole team didn't get traded. It was just like you, me, and a couple of mates. So I think he was the one who had the issue with us in a way because we got the ultimate glory. And at least those two have got something in common, Bucks and Nick Riewoldt. They're not premiership players. That's probably they're hanging out and talking to each other. That's why us three are hanging together because we're premiership players.
It's a pretty...
He's got 3.
Two. Yeah.
Well, it's doubled me.
Yeah, and same with me. We've got
What
4
would you think
between us.
anyway? Like, what's like a genuine question? So, Dimmer was he was nearly on the chopping block just before, like the year before you actually won the first one, and then imagine like after 1 or 2 his contract was up, and they're like, all right, mate, you're getting a bit old now. We might bring in someone new. Like, do you think that would be a disruption on the group? Like, would it be a disruption on any AFL team? Like, bring a new coach in after you've just won or played off in a grand final?
Yeah, I think it definitely gets you talking. Like, you're getting a new coach. Even like last year, there was something massive change. Like it was
something different, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the guy everyone's looking up to. Definitely, it's a big change. Yeah, but for us, like now, it was exciting to get who's come in and we get to work towards new things. But I think it's a bit of a different story. We weren't going that well over the last few years.
You jumped through your premiership window and then you went out the other side of the house. That's how big your premiership window was, and then you got rid of the coach. We were just jarring the window open, and then we got kicked out of the house.
I just don't know why he mentioned the Rat Pack because it's got nothing to do with us. So.
Do you think, though, that Nathan Buckley would be a good candidate for the Tassie team? Because I do. I think for all the lessons you learn a first time round as a coach, getting a side to a grand final in 2018, and then getting another opportunity if stepping out, if that is the way you want to go, I think you learn a lot about yourself as a person, but also what you have done wrong. Self-reflection seems to be a piece that throughout that 2018 season there was a lot going on for the Pies.
It's a hard gig. You're starting from zero.
Yep.
And I've been near zero. I wasn't zero, but I was close to. And if you're coaching and, like you said, you're coming back into the system and you're a changed coach and changed person, it's different when you've taken over a team that's played off in a grand final and then you've had time to go down and go back up. But you're actually trying to build up a whole club. You're not just coaching a team, you're building up a whole club. And in this regard, you're building up a whole state.
Yep.
And the pressure is on from the AFL. You've got to win early. We want to hit the ground running. So they need to get lots of resources in there. And you've got to be able to, you're not just coaching. There's shitloads of stuff around it. So it will be a tough gig for whoever takes it.
He's a big enough name, though, that gives them instant relevance.
Yeah, but do we want a big name or do we just want a good coach?
Well, that's the question.
We want a good coach.
Okay. Well, if you put your hand up and
would
go,
you go to Tassie? Say the Tigers
1.5 a year for the last 3.
Give it a reasonable. Give him
800.
800.
You know what I said? I said 1.5, and he looked at me and goes, "I'm not taking a pay cut."
Ooh, yeah.
I wish.
So when is it coming in? 2 years' time?
28.
28, I think.
Yeah, so 3 years. So Tigers sign you again. You're
so you're 28,
3 years, so
you're
you're 31. And
3-year retirement package down there, $1 million a year.
Yeah, slowly drift you into maybe a coaching role. 3-4 year deal, maybe 2 playing, 2 coaching. Does that excite you?
Well, you got to put up Riewoldt if you go down there. Jack Riewoldt.
Yeah, he's running the show down there.
So hang on, so is that a deterrent for you?
Yeah.
So they think he's going to bring players in. You think he's going to send people out.
And the weather. I was like, if they put heating in the stadium or something, maybe.
Well, there's going to be a roof, and I'm going to give you a stat here, and I've said this before. Got some inside knowledge from Tim Payne, and he said that on average weather throughout 12 months of the year, Tasmania is hotter than Melbourne. On average.
Is that real?
Go and look it up after we finish. Go and look it up.
Stat about rain? I think it was rain percentage.
No, it wasn't.
Temperature.
No, it was temperature.
On
On average.
On average, Tasmania is
for the whole
hotter.
year. For the whole year.
Why does it get such a bad name then?
Because when it's cold, it's real cold.
yeah,
And
you
it's
know it's
consistently cold.
If it's consistently cold,
But Melbourne's freezing at night, so it doesn't drop to those lows.
I'm not sure we have become
Well,
a
look it
weather
up, mate.
podcast. I will look it up, mate. Calm down. Christ almighty.
But so was that, did we get an answer?
Yeah, he said no because Jack Riewoldt. It's been a bad day for the Riewolds on this show. Tonight, tomorrow night, I should say, is Carlton and Port Adelaide. You've played against both of them, a 5-point loss to the Blues in round 1, which was... Did you guys play opening round? You did against Gold Coast, got smoked. And you played against Port as well. What do you think of both sides? What are you making of their seasons?
They're both having good seasons. They're both going well. But I'm just thinking, like if Carlton are to win, they've got some great, powerful forwards.
Yep.
But I reckon Port Adelaide's got some great backs as well. So it'd be a great matchup. And they're looking at their midfields. They're both pretty powerful as well. So it'd be a pretty good game, I think.
It does shape to be a good game. The Blues have never won against an Adelaide side at Adelaide Oval.
That's not a good stat.
That is not a good stat. The only side they've beaten is Freo in gather round. So
that was controversial, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There was a touch ball that was a mark, then a goal, then they got another kick for dissent. So
that means get on the Blues then.
Well,
because they're due. It's
Port
one of those
Adelaide-
ones where they're due.
Port Adelaide are third.
Yeah,
For
I
all
get
the
it.
hysteria,
They're
but
good there.
They
but
always
again,
do that.
they fell in against Hawthorn. They shouldn't have won that game. They rolled North down in Hobart or Launceston, wherever it was, somewhere down there in Tassie. So their form isn't ideal. They beat the Cats before that.
But Big Charlie comes back in and he plays a huge part for Port.
Do
He's
you
just
reckon?
a target.
Connor Rozee, so he missed with the hammy/knee, whatever it was, after being declared fit. Rolled his ankle on the weekend. They're going to give him to the last minute to get up.
Yeah, do it.
Surely, Kenneth,
No,
if
just-
you have learned anything.
No, ankle's different to hammy.
Yeah.
It
Very, very different.
You both have
You
very
can
correct.
strap the out of
Yeah,
it and you
get
can
through it.
jab
Get
the
through an ankle.
out of it.
Yeah.
Righto. So,
But
Compared to
he's
the
pretty agile. He needs those ankles.
Yeah.
But they are different to a hammy. Yeah.
so you think he plays?
It's an important game.
So he plays.
Yeah,
You play?
have to.
I'd
Have
say
If it's just an
play.
ankle,
Yeah.
jab it up,
Yeah.
away you go.
Yeah, strap the living out of it and then away you go. Who do you reckon will win?
I'm going to tip Port Adelaide. I just, you can't look past the obvious that they don't know how to really win their Carlton, which for whatever reason, and I've been trying to do stats, I was crunching numbers last night, there is no glaring factor as to why they don't win in terms of, apart from the scoreboard, obviously, but they get their opportunities. They've
Most
won inside
important
50 counts a couple of times. It doesn't really make sense. They just don't win there. So with that as a logic and a simple logic, I think Port Adelaide will be winning.
Both teams are sort of like, you just don't know. Because Port are always going to have that hanging over them, the finals,
Yes.
and against good sides. And Carlton have, like last year, rolling into this year, everyone had high expectations and they've had a couple of little lulls. So I don't
So
know.
who are you tipping? A draw again? Fourth one
No,
for
I'm
the season.
going to go with Carlton because they're due.
We won't make you tip because that's not overly professional of us. You
Why?
guys take on the Cats Saturday night down at GMHBA Stadium. Probably the toughest trip in footy.
Not for the Giants last week.
Well, that's true. Okay, I'll retract. Retract leading the witness. One of the easiest trips in footy. What are you expecting? And surely you guys are more confident after what you did last week.
Yeah, no, like I said earlier, you're going every week confident. We're looking forward to hopefully a good game. And hopefully you can get a win. But yeah, they're a great team as well, Geelong. They've got some amazing players, so we have to do a few things that can stop a few of them guys and probably put a hold on Jeremy Cameron and Tomahawk and
You get one
hopefully
of those
score
matchups.
more goals. No, I don't think so.
You and three others.
The Geelong are in a bit of a rut.
They are.
They're in a little bit of a rut.
They
And
have-
you guys will go down there like zero pressure.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's like
That's
even
dangerous.
the Giants, zero pressure as well last week, and they just came out and they just put it on them early. So I think you just got to get into them early, and then it'll give yourself a massive chance to take them out. Jeremy Cameron, he's one of those guys. You don't want to go play on the opposition at training against him because he has got no idea what he's doing most of the time, and he can really, really hurt you.
Well, I think you guys have got a nice opportunity.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
ground
Nice
and the
opportunity.
weather is going to be conducive to sort of a little bit like last Saturday night at the G there.
A few boys back in, or
I think we've got a couple coming back this week.
Yep, beautiful.
Well,
There you
that's
go.
nice. And good to see that little Meatball Presty has got through a couple of weeks as well.
Dion's he's been flying, which
He's
is
getting
good.
there.
Yeah,
which
He's
is
a
good.
barometer.
Tom Lynch, not too far away back
He's
into the
just
season.
playing golf, apparently.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I'm hoping a couple of weeks for Tom maybe.
Nice.
But
Okay.
he's moving well. He's training well.
Just
It's
needs
weird.
to
I don't know if
sort
you
that
boys
middle
have
finger out.
done hammies. Like, you get back running pretty quick when you've done a hammy.
Yeah,
So he was running-
I didn't know about
We
that.
only did one. Oh,
yeah.
I only did one.
Yeah, I
with
only
you.
did. Yeah, and it was real weird. They say like start running after like 3 days. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, mate, I did my hammy. I'm having 2 weeks off, and they're like, no, you've got to
Yeah.
get moving.
So he's been
I'm
running
like,
for a while, like, and he had surgery and stuff. But I was pretty surprised by that. But he's moving well, and I'm hoping he's back.
Well, for Tigers fans, no doubt they will be hoping the big fella gets back for the back end of the season. Thank you so much, mate. We appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, boys.
All the best for the back half of the season yourself. You got a bye coming up in a few weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks, I think.
What do you do? Golf trip?
I was thinking that, but I'm not great at golf, like I said earlier.
That doesn't matter. Neither am I. But,
Just tell
But,
the missus you're going on a golf
yeah.
trip.
Yeah, one of the
I'd leave the
boys,
golf clubs at home.
partners got a farm over in South Australia.
Oh,
I think
that's
a couple
nice.
of boys might head over
Okay.
there or something.
Awesome.
Ooh,
There you
I'm,
go.
I'm a
That's
city,
what
I'm
I
a city boy, so
yeah.
go and experience something new.
Go and put the cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
And it ain't Texan, but it hold him. Heater, thank you as always for coming in.
Thank you.
This has been Footy Talk. Of course, if you do want to, if you are listening on Spotify, hit the bell to be notified when we drop a new episode. Abby and Jay will be back on Monday to unpack all your weekend's footy action. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.